quarterbacks are very fragile.
Oh, Key, I don't want to hear about being fragile.
No, I'm saying quarterbacks are very fragile.
But we don't live in a 2020 has not been a fragile type of year.
I understand that, but when you are willing to make that decision to change a quarterback and bench a quarterback and do some things, Andy Reid did it in 2008, okay, with Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb is built different than Carson Wentz, clearly. But when you make that decision to start to play around with a quarterback, benching him, bringing him in, rotating him, things of that nature, if he's not strong, you might as well just pack it up.
Well, is that a quarterback you want for the long? I know you gave him a contract, but I mean that's submission of.
Well, you got to know that before you give him before you give him the contract, you got to know what you're dealing with. You can't just decide to give a guy the money without understanding what the repercussions could be on the back end of things.
I guess my question is, how long do you wait? How long do you wait to make that decision? So I hear you saying he might be fragile, but these are decisions that you had to factor into before you actually ultimately made a decision.
Yeah, but are you willing to move on from him when you make this decision? See, you move on from a guy that you just gave a bunch of money to. Now you setting your franchise up potentially for failure because if Jalen Hurts doesn't perform at the level in which you think he should be performing at, now, you now got a quarterback that is like just basically throw his hands in the sky. I
just would be interested to see how Carson Wentz would respond if Jalen Hurts did get a snap under center. Like, did get a whole series.
But is he responding?
I'm just saying because sometimes I think competition can lift the spirit.
But you should be able to respond to the criticism that you are hearing about your play and respond to your teammates and respond to the film that you're watching. It shouldn't take a player to come off the bench for you to be able to respond to that position and lift your team because much like Sal said, and you saw me put my hands up because I knew exactly what he was going to say.
Goalposts.
The first thing that you need to do as a quarterback is get your damn team into the end zone.
But
that's the number one thing. And if you're not doing that, then you're no good.
But isn't it also the job of the quarterback that's like the job of a point guard? Isn't it to galvanize your team? I mean, that's pretty.
I can't galvanize a team that ain't fooling with me.
I know. That's exactly what I'm saying.
If I ain't fooling with you, Jay Will, because of my play, because of your play, there's nothing you can do. Because if you haven't realized that I'm not dealing with you and you haven't changed your style of play to help us win games, then something's wrong.
But that goes back to the part, Key, about mentally being tough. Like, I guess
it goes back to the part about mentally being tough. That's why I say you need to know if you're going to bench him, he's very fragile. Quarterbacks, again, are very sensitive. If you ever notice, when people say something about quarterbacks, the first thing they start doing is deflecting all of you. If you ever look at QBs.
My takeaway was wide receivers are a little bit sensitive too.
We tell you what the hell we think.
Okay.
Period. We open our mouths. We don't sit quiet and idle.
All right.
One quick note. Think about this from he's giving him the stare down. He's giving him the stare down.
Hey, now. 6:50 a.m. stare down. I like
icy.
it. I got him going. I got him going.
No, you ain't got me going. I'm just telling you. When you say receivers are sensitive, no, we not. We just tell you what the hell we know.
No,
and
you can't make a blanket
mind.
statement for every wide receiver. But all I'm saying, Key.
No, I can.
You know what? No. All I'm saying is if you owe the guy $100+ million.
Well, I don't know exactly. Contracts are so weird.
I know.
But they owe him a lot of money.
A lot of money. Okay,
yeah,
we'll leave it at that. A lot of money. If we're having this conversation about a guy you owe a lot of money to being mentally fragile, that's really concerning for the Eagles moving forward. That's really concerning.
I'm just telling you, dog, when you see quarterbacks be benched, it's hard for them to come back and perform at the level that you think that they should be performing at.
So if you're Doug Peterson, how long do you wait?
Me personally, I'll probably just ride it out the rest of the year.
Rest of the year,
because I'm not ready to make that defining moment in the franchise to make that change to a quarterback in Jalen Hurts unless I'm ready to move on from Carson Wentz, and I can't be ready to move on from him. I'm not one of those guys that feel like in 2 games I got to bench a dude and start another guy.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if his play.
I don't even want to mess with his mentality, his mental. I don't want to fool with it.
Okay, I respect that.
I'm gonna get his ass in the classroom. I'm gonna get him on the board. I'm gonna coach him up. And if he's not responding to the coaching, then at that point I need to sit down with ownership, sit down with my staff, and figure out how to get the most out of him before I decide to say, he's not getting me fired. That I can't do it right now, though. I got to see it through a little bit longer before we make the decision. Now, you say, well, you're going down with the sinking boat. Yes, I at this point, I have to.
You have to.
I have to.
Wow.
I can't do it. It's I got a kid that had no off-season conditioning. I mean, no training, no real training camp. He's young, and now I have to change.
But so is every other quarterback in this league. That's what I'm saying.
No, young.
Okay.
Young, not veteran. Young guy.
Kyler Murray.
No, Kyler Murray's system from last year. Jalen Hurts just got there. Jalen Hurts been with the team a few months.
Oh, you're talking about I'm talking about Carson Wentz.
No, okay. Carson Wentz. What I'm saying is it's hard for me to make a decision to insert Jalen Hurts into our offense not knowing if he's ready. Not knowing if he's ready. I haven't seen enough of him in games or in practice to make that decision. I've seen enough of Carson to know that maybe there's some things that I could change as a coach to fix it.
That's why I say utilize him in a series here or there, maybe.
No, I mean,
why not?
If
like
the defense warrants us to mixing things up, maybe
that's
we
all
can
I was
do
saying.
that. But I'm not ready to pull Carson Wentz.
I didn't say I was ready to pull him. I'm just saying utilize him, create a little bit of that competitive spirit.
Well, that's not going to create no competitive spirit. What you do is you do what the Baltimore Ravens did with Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson. But they were ready to move on from Flacco. They were ready to move on. They was like, get that dude out of here. Even though they had paid him $100 million and he won a Super Bowl for him. It was like, it's time to go. We clearly see he can't play anymore.
Right. Went to Denver, got injured, neck injury. Now he's on the Jets. Obviously, he's going to take a snap if everything works out with Sam Darnold.
See, I knew he stared at me. I know he's sensitive.
Keyshawn,
tell me
shut up. Nobody's sensitive.
See, he tells people to shut up and just gets so aggressive. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.